with the owner, the boss himself, George Machado.
What's up, guys?
This man snuck in at 16th place.
I don't know.
Top
I
16.
won at table 6.
That man, X1 record. I let him take it away, man.
Should have been an XL.
Yeah.
Punted a game in front of Eddie's, yours truly. I was literally comboing for lethal, and time was gone. It is what it is. Shenron, everybody knows what this guy does. Very powerful leader. Mostly reliant on this backside activation.
That's gonna get a rat to once per game. So go ahead.
Honestly, a lot of the times I didn't even use this. Our build is a little bit different than your traditional and conventional Shenron deck. This deck wins without the ultimate.
That's savage.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, okay. Let's start off with the tried and true staples, the balls. This is the only ball that we play. We don't play the other balls. Then we play 5 copies of a card that go into that. So you have obviously this guy, which is the best card in the deck. This stuns the leader, very good against KP and other matchups. Honestly, it's good against everything. Stunning leader is crazy. And then you have this guy, which is against blue. So when they God Sealing this, they have to God Sealing when you pop this. Then you hit them with this. This has deflect. Also, fun fact, this has double strike, barrier, and blocker. And it has spirit boost. So if you land this guy with Unison out, he attacks twice as a double striker.
On their turn, you just restand him again.
Yes. You can also, I think, reanimate him with leader.
Yeah, he just doesn't restand because he's not yellow.
Yes, exactly. He just doesn't restand. Yeah, I knew it was one thing that he doesn't do with leader.
Yeah, he doesn't restand. The black ones don't restand if you play them. But
So
there are
this,
stands.
yeah, this guy's godly. Against blue, I was able to take down a Gogeta Unison just with this guy. So crazy. Then this is the main guy that you go over any of the 4 drops except for this guy, because this guy's a Xeno skin. But yeah,
that's me, dude.
4 of this guy. A lot of people are gonna play out to this guy, so honestly,
Realm of the Gods.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's okay because you still pot of greed when he dies. But then you play 2 of this Omega Shenron and 2 of this Omega Shenron. This guy is to kill your opponent out of nowhere, which you know, you can randomly do because he has triple strike, comes down for 1 and draws a card. And this guy comes down for 1 mana, draws you a card as well too. Can self awaken you, and he could be like pseudo removal if you hit the Oceanus warping from the yard. But that's usually the only one that you use in this particular style of deck because you don't have a lot of options to remove off of that guy. And this is a good follow up for when they kill your 9-drop and leave you with ball. You just use the ball to scale into this guy. So, and you get a little bit of an advantage out of it. Play 4 Haze. Honestly, this could have been 3, but this card's really good in a lot of matchups. But you see it a lot because, remember, your leader searches Shadow Dragons. So these are the utility Shadow Dragons. You have him, and then you have her, Oceanus. This, you burst 1 to look at top 5. The only thing that this can't search is the 9-drops, any 9-drops, but it can search
I think the black
else.
ones see the black ones.
Yeah,
you can't search the black ones. It's just only yellow. Yep, only yellow. You can't search black ones.
Well, regardless, you never want to get the black ones. But yeah, this is really good, specifically just for this. Fill up the yard. Deck thinning is very important.
Deck thinning is deck winning, boys.
This getting this, and then this getting ball is ideally what you want to do because it's just rids you of cards, fills up your yard, etc., etc. This card has a counterplay as well. It never came up, but I guess it can maybe sometimes happen. This guy's not so great if you're trying to ball that same turn. This is your best turn 1 play. But it is important to note that your ball comes out skillless the turn that you play with that. And then we have like so this is our Shadow Dragon like staple stuff, right? This is like you're not playing Shadow Dragons without this, right? This is where the spice comes in because this is like all the, you know, fancy stuff. This is the yellow good stuff essentially. So we play this more like a yellow good stuff deck. Double poutine. This card's great. It's just you can't trigger it as much as like back at Nicarus and stuff like that, but we do play Zamasu Super Combo, Power of the Super Saiyan, things like that. And this card is just still like insane, especially against King Piccolo. King Piccolo, every time their battle card actually comes out. By the way, if you want more in depth on this, make sure you join the Patreon, and I'll kind of explain these decks a little bit more. It's patreon.com/PPG DBS, and I'll go over this more in depth. Right now, it's just kind of like a speedy rundown. Triple Mecha Frieza. This is another card that can trigger the poutine. This card is just still the best floodgate, but there's a lot more answers to it, which is why it's not a full playset. You got to be careful of decks that can main Vegeta and a lot of other things that can stop the Mecha Frieza in general. So you have to play this with caution. And remember, it was a best of 1 pre-side, so you can, like, if it's bad in the matchup against King Piccolo, for example, in U7, you just take this out. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. here's some extra cards. Obviously, 1 power Super Saiyan card's insane. Triple Frieza Army reinforcements. It's actually better in this deck because a lot of people try to stall you at 4 or try to like knock you from 4 to 2. So you Frieza Army reinforcements, and you're able to get right at 3 so that you can awaken if you miss Unison or something. This card's also like cracked with Mecha Kibora.
Yeah, it's insane.
You have Mecha Kibora in this,
it's insane.
it ends up being like you have double blocker, you have a stun, you have everything. So insane. Then you play.
This is the MVP of the week. It's the real MVP of the weekend.
You heard about Vegeta's Final Flash? Yeah, this card's just like infinitely better because you're in theme. You can play this as a Sensu Bean when tapped out.
Yep.
So this card with Mecha Kibora also, when you tap out on that turn, you have that. And if you do pay energy for this card, you do pretty much negate skills on any card. This card's really good offensively and defensively. It's an activate main / battle, so you can actually do it whenever. But yeah, this card's cracked.
Yep.
Also, is an extra card for Mecha
Repulse.
Triple Forbidden Power. This card's also super cracked with Mecha Kibora because you go typically your ideal
Forbidden
turn 4.
Power block.
Yeah, you go turn 4 Mecha Kibora, you awaken, you leave 1 up, and then you have Forbidden Power Mecha Kibora, and then you easily get to your 5, and then from there you get to your 6, and you win. But funny enough, in this deck, all we need to do, well, I guess I won't get there yet until we get to super combos. So for super combos, we went Chilai, which was nuts actually. Fun fact. If they play a dude on your turn and you have 9-drop Shin, it becomes skillless, and with Chilai you can kill it. Yeah. But this card was actually particularly good because it's the only one that can interact with Unisons and tapping them down, but it can also tap down Leader. The only thing that this one can't do is tap down battle cards. And why tapping down Leader is so important is because in this deck you can actually, you can continue to loop this guy.
That's that PC Patreon content right here, boys.
Yeah, so you can go back to back, draw, lock them, and that's how I won a lot of games. Actually, I was able to lock my opponent's Soul Striker, my King Piccolo.
Would you reverse in a future 2 Chilais, 1 Zamasu, 1 Krillin?
Or you feel like I'd probably go double Chilai, double like Krillin was actually.
You don't need to draw. It's like
you don't need to draw in this deck. Honestly, you draw everything that you need to draw. And then the Super Spice package. So that's our like Mecha Kibora. This is mostly like our. Our Mecha Frieza package, extra cards like
YellowGoodStuff.com,
Yeah. And then the Super Spice came in the Unison package.
Yeah.
So SS Rose Goku Black Time Ring Trespasser. Fun fact: this card is actually a different name on TCG Player. So if you're looking for this card, have fun. So for 3 energy, this guy comes down. He's a 4 specified cost Unison. That way you can awaken turn 3. So this is extremely important when you go second, because on turn when you go second, you can actually awaken and not lose a lot of tempo. For 0, he becomes a blocker at the end of turn, which you can decide if you want a 0 or a -1 after you attack with him. So typically, I'll play him, attack. Maybe remove a dude depending if they want to. But this chooses any card, any battle card in rest mode, negates the skills, and then KOs it. So if they have any, abilities or whatever, they won't trigger. Really good. Or you can 0 it to just blocker. And I actually won a game off 0ing this guy and blockering him. So this guy's good, but it does clog up the ability for you to Mecha Kibora.
Speaking of fest, if you're going second, you just put those in. Going first,
you don't mind. Yeah, exactly. Like, I liked having the option of both because you never miss on Unison, which is important. Like, you need to have your turn 4 Unison / turn 3 Unison if you have this guy. But yeah, this guy's obviously better. This guy's pretty cracked.
That guy's a fest promo.
Yeah. And then why these cards are actually so good and why we're having above average.
Here it comes. No troll. I thought it was troll at first, and then he won multiple games with this card. Multiple games, no trolls.
Like literally every time I drew this card, I won the game.
Boom!
Super Mera. This card is literal the nut.
No trolls.
This card comes down on 4, no earlier than 4. And literally kills your opponent because what he does is he empowers. So empower, for those who don't know, I know it's confusing online. I tried to look it up myself. It essentially takes up to 3 markers from a yellow or a black Unison. So you need to have a yellow or a black Unison in order to get this guy.
And Mechi's always going to have 3 markers at least, so you drop it.
So he comes down with 4 plus X, right? So if any of these have any counters on him, he can -4 immediately because he comes down with 4. So even if I just empower 1, he comes down for 5. I -4. I blow up the board. I tap them out. Bergamo taps 2 cards. So yes, energies. Double. It gives him double strike. Gives him 15k, so he becomes a 40k base Unison. So they can't interact with him in the battle phase usually.
Dual attack.
He has dual attack.
Dual attack.
Primarily. Then he triggers the +1 on your opponent's turn. As soon as they trigger the first attack, he restands, and now he can block. So this guy was just
insane.
This guy was just insane. And fun fact, you can play this guy on 3 and kill your opponent on 4. When Sin Shenron usually can't do that unless you're playing a very aggressive build. Or you can go 4 on this, kill them on 5. And that's why I'm saying I never really did this 6.
Yeah,
because I was able to just
use your other secret instead of that secret.
Yeah, but by this time you're able to find this guy and just kill your opponent.
You're not gonna out combo it. I'm saying right now. If this gets dropped on you, you're not gonna out combo it. Because like the floodgates like repulse, it doesn't stop Unison in this league. Like anything, nothing stops Unison. It's hard to interact with Unison.
Yeah,
you can't final flash this, red, you can't, I mean, you could violently raise, but if you violently raise this, you're gonna have an onslaught of dragons coming at you. It's just rough. Like, it's
That's why you play so many good cards that, like, once you untap that one Mechagabora, you have, like, floodgates to help you live till this, and then your backup plan is your Sin Ultimate. And then the sideboard, like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into it.
Just a quick flash.
I'm not going to tell you what it's good for until you join the Patreon.
Dang, did you give Legends his trunks back?
Yeah, I did. I got a fest one, so I was like, good. Double Return of the Dragon Fist, double Vegeta Prideful Transformation, double Frieza Divine Transformation. This card, also, fun fact, I killed my opponent by going Vegeta into this. You can even like ultimate Vegeta, rest in energy, then do this, rest 2 more energy.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, against Gogeta Zeno, I was able to -1 attack, then empower, then kill them. And if I don't kill them, they can't be. They're floodgated, and I have blocker on them.
Against Gogeta Zeno, he also used this, tapped his last energy, going for a game, and time was called. So that was his only loss today.
This card is crap.
His only loss, so it's really good.
And then Bergamo.
This is insane,
this
guys.
Is the
but you'll see on Patreon.
I'm not gonna say why.
This card is in absolute
Read
gas.
the card though, because a lot of people
absolute gas.
The one Swift Retaliation Cooler. I'm not the aggro version of the deck, so this card isn't as good. And typically you'll see Shenron decks play 2 of these between main and side.
And it's hard to interact with this Unison to begin with. So,
exactly. I'm usually more of a tap out control or leaving one up, and then double Realm of the Gods, Goku Black Commandment. That's it, guys. I shout out to our team. Juha got 4th, Eddie got top 8, I got top 16. I think we had a pretty solid performance from the team. Robbie and Legends just missed, but I think it was a pretty fun event. I think we all did really well. I think Sin is probably the best deck in a best of 1, especially because you can craft your deck however way you want it. And
besides my best of 1 Vegeks deck, but go ahead. I give it a second, man.
You can craft, like, a lot of cards in this deck will surprise people, and it's not your traditional Sin Shenron, which is why I liked it. And shout out to Andrew Duvall. He's the one who kind of put me on this this thinking of a non-traditional Sin Shenron deck, and he helped out with a lot of the choices. You know, Juha as well. He showed up. I was like, oh shit, you're on Sin Shenron. We went back and forth. I mean, he did better with the traditional version, but that doesn't mean that it's better than this. I think this is a really solid choice.
You're technically undefeated, I'm telling you. Like,
I mean, technically, Giancarlo gave me a really good run for my money. He went first because he was higher seed.
That killed you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I just gave you.
And he drew pretty good. Definitely check out the stream if you haven't already. And hope to see you guys at the Card Fest next week.
In Miami, man. It's gonna be lit. All right.
Some special guest commentators.
You'll see. Yee.
So they had let the pilots on.